Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. In today's lesson, we are going to look at the process of entrepreneurship. As I told you in the very first lesson, you may get an idea, you may see a product. I go back to the product I showed you some time back. Supposing you want to make this product and start an enterprise to make and market this product. Let's take, for example, this one. The process of thinking about it and then ultimately succeeding and making profit out of it. Let us trace the process. See, you may succeed by chance. I'm not saying you cannot. In fact, if you go and interview some of the entrepreneurs, they may even tell you, well, I don't know how I succeeded, I succeeded. They may not know how they succeeded, but unknowingly, without their own consciousness, they would have followed a particular process. Luckily, that happened to be correct, and so they succeeded. Let me give a story which I heard long ago. This story is about, of course it is a story, it is an imagination story. The story talks about NASA. In NASA, the rocket launching takes place. And the story says that a rocket was about to be launched. The countdown started. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 0. But the rocket did not leave. They tried various solutions. All over the world, scientists came, aeronautic engineers came, rocket specialists came, but it was not moving. Somebody said there is one person who can make it move. And somebody sent a team and asked this person, in NASA, a rocket has not left the base, come and do something about it. He says, I don't know anything. No, people talked about you. And so he goes there, he looks at the rocket was like this. Then he says, tilt it a little bit. So it was tilted, little more. So he was asking the rocket to be tilted. Then it went up to this. And then he said, slowly bring it back. It was brought down to the original position. Then now he says, you start. And they started the countdown. It left. And people were surprised. What is this new technology we were not aware of? He says, no. I have an old Lambretta scooter. Whenever it does not start, this is what I do. I tilt it and kick it. It starts. This is, of course, a joke and a story. But there is a lot of thinking we can do using this story. Success is not an overnight affair. It is not a random affair. I will give you some quotations to start with before we go into the process. There's a beautiful quotation of Thomas Alva Edison. He says, good fortune is what happens when opportunity meets with planning. There's an opportunity, but there should be planning also. You see, nowadays a lot of stand-up comedies are taking place. A lot of people have come into stand-up comedy. You take YouTube, for example. A lot of people have started a YouTube channel on their own. Cooking, music, teaching some language. 1.5 million subscribers are there. There's an opportunity. There should also be a planning. There is another quotation of Alexander Graham Bell. Before anything else, Preparation is the key to success. Before anything else, preparation is key to success. Here is a quotation from Benjamin Franklin. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. This is another quotation by Tom Landry. Very interesting quotation, very important quotation. Setting a goal is not the main thing. It is deciding how we will go about achieving it and staying with that plan. Setting a goal is not at all a main thing. I want to start the bag industry. I want to start a stand-up comedy enterprise. We can do that. But deciding how you will go about it is very, very important. Yeah, this is another interesting quotation from Abraham Lincoln. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. These are all very interesting quotations, very relevant to the subject we are going to discuss today. You go and ask your mother, how does she prepare tea or coffee? How is she learned? She would have learned it from her mother. And there is a process of doing it. The difference between a good coffee and a bad coffee is not in the raw material. Supposing you buy the same coffee powder, same milk, same coffee, sugar, where I also buy, both of us start preparing coffee. Your coffee tastes very good, my coffee is not very good. The reason is I need to look at the process. Look at this diagram. You have an outcome. For the outcome, there is a process. In order to reach this process, you need to have knowledge and skill. If you have the right type of knowledge and you prepare your skill set, and have the right process, you are bound to create an outcome. This is very important to remember. With this background, let us go into some of the important process of entrepreneurship. It all starts with self-discovery. Learning what they enjoy doing, examining their strength and weaknesses, examining work experience and relating it to potential opportunities. So they understand themselves. Who am I? What is my strength? Make a note of this word, SWOT, S-W-O-T. SWOT represents strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. Strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. The entrepreneur should ask, what is my strength? I am good in cracking jokes. That's my strength. What is the opportunity? There is a huge market for stand-up comedy. People want entertainment. What is my strength? I am a good teacher. I am a good instrument player. What is the opportunity? There are people who want to learn instruments. They don't have time to go and learn person, online tuition. Strength, opportunity. Then weakness. What is my weakness? Maybe my weakness is I am lazy. I don't work enough number of hours. Then threat. If I am comfortable in a job, but just because I have a talent to sing and teach, I start, but my weakness is laziness. Threat. I will lose my job. I will lose my whatever I have today. So the problem is not in the project. The problem is in lack of planning, lack of preparation. So you need to ask yourself, what is my strength? That's why in the last episode, I used a word called passion, Passion, passion. So that is the first stage. The second stage is identifying opportunities, looking for needs, wants, problems, and challenges that are not yet being met or dealt effectively. You have to read a lot. You have to read a lot. In one of my previous episodes, I have said how the market leaders, how big businessmen spend their time, like Bill Gates, for example, like Warren Buffett, for example, right? These people, they say they read a lot. That's why I'm telling you, my dear students, read a lot. Read anything and everything which is relevant, especially newspapers. You're all in the school final years. The next leg is in the university. Start reading newspapers, especially business related newspapers. Financial Express or Economic Times or Business Standard. Watch the television channel. They discuss about the new emerging opportunities. You are not in the 4th or 5th standard. You are not kids. So, by exposing yourself, by keeping your eyes and ears open, you will come across an answer to the question, how is the market going to be in the next couple of years? The third stage is generating and evaluating ideas using creativity and past experience to devise new and innovative ways to solve a problem or meet a need, and then narrowing the field to one best idea. Lot of ideas will come. Let's say that after 5 years, 4 years, you want to start some product. List various things you can do. Let there be any number of ideas. You can discuss with your friends, you can discuss with your relatives. Even as a student, even in the final year of the school, you can start a small little enterprise. For example, you can start, let us say, you can start a blog. You know, blog in the internet, it's just kind of an electronic diary kind of a thing. And start a blog every day. You write a journal and see how many people you can reach. That's also marketing. And let us say that you get about 10 ideas. Let us see that you start funneling. You apply a funnel, and then out of 10 ideas, 8 ideas pass through. Then again funnel, 5 ideas, 4 ideas, 3 ideas. Then you have 2 ideas. You have to choose between these two. So, idea generation and idea evaluation. The fourth stage is very, very important. Planning. Researching and identifying resources needed to turn the idea into a viable venture. Doing the research in the form of a written business plan, preparing market strategies. We'll go about it in detail in the subsequent lessons. Let's say that you want to start a bag like this. Then look at what are all the various types of bags. What are the bags used for? And what are the categories of people who are using the bag? Ladies' handbags, market bags, backpacks, right? So the bag is a huge industry, and what is that you want to make? And then what are the resources? Where do you get these things from? Where do you get the handle from? What material you want to make? Who are manufacturing that? How can you source it? Then they make a detailed plan in the form of a written business plan. Now, supposing you want to go for a loan, the bank manager will ask you what is called, make a note of it, project report, business plan. Every idea cannot get you the support. Idea has to be in the form of a product or service. Okay? And then raising the startup capital. Using the business plan to attract investors, venture capitalists, and partners, this stage can involve producing prototype or test marketing services. You need money. As I said, taking 1,000 rupees to the market and buying vegetables and starting a small little vegetable shop in front of your house is not the type of enterprise we are talking about. You may make about 10 bags every month and start selling to your friends and relatives. That is not the business I am talking about. The whole world is your market. So, you need money. So, banks will ask you how much money can you bring. If you convince the bank manager, yeah, this is a viable project, and after all, the banks are also interested in making money. By lending and taking the EMI, they are going to make money. So this is the startup capital. Now, who are the people? Your friends may lend you, relatives may lend you money. It is not just debt. It is the equity we are talking about. In your accountancy, commerce, you will have an opportunity to go through the equity, debt, the private limited company, and public limited companies, and so on and so forth. Once your capital is ready, once your investors are ready, they are venture capitalists, which means they are people with money who are waiting for good projects. If you have a good project, they will invest. Right. Then startup. Launching the venture, developing a customer base, and adjusting marketing and operational plans as required. Launching. Right? You have an innovative project. You may have to call people, prospective clients, prospective dealers, and you launch. Next time, once this COVID thing is over, watch out. Some of your friends and relatives may be having a distributorship business like Hindustan Lever, Britannia, or Godrej, and ask them when the next product is going to be launched, and they will tell you. Or you can go to book launching programs. Somebody would have written a book. They want to launch the book, release the book, go there. You will understand what launching means. Then growth. Now I talked about retain, sustain, maintain. So growing the business, developing and following strategic plans, adapting to new circumstances. It is something like planting and nurturing a seedling, a tree. Supposing you want to grow your own mango tree, you don't plant a tree, you plant a seedling. And the seedling may take about 5 years or 8 years to yield the first fruit. Just because you have planted a seedling and you don't care about it, 5 years later, 6 years later, you come and see, maybe the seedling would have disappeared. You have to carefully nurture. This is how your parents brought you up. You are a small little baby. From a small little baby, you are in your teens now. How much your parents would have nurtured you, seeing you grow, looking at problems you may encounter. Right? And once you do all this harvesting, selling the business and harvesting the rewards, for many entrepreneurs, This also means moving on to new venture, new challenges. Once you have succeeded, you don't want to stop there. You want to launch related products. Let me go back to that shampoo example, sachet shampoo. Look at how the Kevin Care industry has grown, his own company has grown. I was looking at the statistics recently, some of the advertisement recently. They have gone into hand sanitizers. Hand sanitizers became popular very recently. So you may add a new product. You may put up a factory in a new location. You may go for other related thing. For example, you start a tourist company, let us say taxis. Then over a period of time, you may start what is called a travel related companies. You may start giving drivers on hire like that. So these are the basic 8 steps. So what are the steps? Self-discovery, identifying opportunities, generating and evaluating ideas, planning, raising startup capital, startup, growth, and harvest. I hope you have understood. Here is a small little exercise for you. Keep these points in mind. Again, interview. Interview is very, very important. You will find a lot of interviews, on the television channel. Somebody is being interviewed. Some student get first mark in the board exam. She is being interviewed. How did you go about it? They will tell you the process. The student will tell you, I read this book only. I practiced writing. I practiced 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours evening. Process. So go to the nearest person who is an entrepreneur known to you. He may be a wholesaler. He may be a wholesale business man, like a vegetable vendor, fruit vendor. Go to him at a time when he is free. Ask him, how did he arrive at this juncture in his life? How did he start? How did he get an idea? How he used his own strength? It all depends upon your planning. That's why I'm telling you, it's not just you have a goal. The plan, the strategic thinking about it is very, very important. One of the main reasons entrepreneurs fail because they react to an emotional idea. Just they get an idea, they are convinced, they plunge into it. Okay, if it is a small little investment, fine. But if it is a major business, you need to go through this. Think about this, and we will continue in the next class. All the best.